And welcome back to episode 4 of From Chains to Change. We are joined by Kevin Dalcourt. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Longtime vote member.
Yes.
How many
Yes.
times have we had you on the show so far?
This is the second time.
It feels like the third.
Okay.
Kevin is joining us today to talk about a great event for the community and for justice impacted individuals. Kevin, what is it that you are doing and that people know to kick us off?
Yep.
Well, our nonprofit Justice Reform Initiative, we're having an expungement clinic. And it's going to be August 16th at the Domain Center on Mudd Avenue. And it's from 9 in the morning till 1 p.m. And we're also going to have other nonprofits we'll have guest speakers that'll be speaking, other nonprofits also too, the Innocence Project. They'll be talking about their database, about their lead database. It talks about police accountability and that tracks police misconduct. Also, I want to thank the All for One Foundation, Josh Edmond, and also Councilman Kenny Boudreau, who partnered with us to get this thing off the ground, and all of the other partners. Also, Vote is a partner, and at the clinic, Vote will be having a registration drive, and Sway is going to be giving a speech about how voting is important and how it directly impacts expungements, and the offenses that you have.
Yes. Now, expungements. I know some people think that everybody can get an expungement. Can you explain to our viewers who's eligible to get an expungement, or how is that determined?
Full disclosure, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving any legal advice. This is just for information purposes. Under Louisiana law, there are certain offenses that are eligible for expungement. Usually most nonviolent offenses are. There are some violent offenses that are expungible. With the new laws that was enacted, there are 13 offenses going forward that are off the expungement list now.
So that's 13 offenses that have been removed pretty much from the expungements initially.
Right.
Wow.
Just to give you an example, the offense of convicted felon with a firearm. That used to be expungible until the new enactment.
Okay.
So that's not expungible anymore. Now that's for people that are getting their offenses after 2024.
Okay.
So let's say, for instance, if you had that offense before 2024, that can be expunged.
Okay.
That is a messy patchwork of
Yeah.
laws.
Yes. So,
But it's a great example of how messy the legal system in Louisiana is, that your expungement possibilities change
right.
year to year, it seems like.
Yes. Now, another thing that people have concerns about or problem with are the fees the cost that comes along with expungements.
Yeah, unfortunately, Louisiana ranks as the highest state with the highest fees in the nation. For a regular expungement, when you go to the clerk of court, they're going to want you to present different checks for $550. $250 goes to the state police, $200 goes to the clerk, $50 goes to the sheriff, and another $50 goes to the district attorney. However, there are some exceptions to that. Let's say, for instance, you don't have a felony and what you have is an arrest. You can ask the district attorney to sign a fee waiver to waive those fees.
Okay.
Now, the legislature in 2018 embedded the informal paupers, or IFP, into the expungement law because there's a lot of people who can't afford those fees.
So that hasn't always been in there. People couldn't always use informal paupers for
No, in
expungements.
2018, that's when
Oh, I
it
never
was.
realized that. Okay.
Yeah, it was embedded. The legislature saw that there was a need because people couldn't afford it.
Okay.
So,
So what is informal paupers?
what it is, it's for people that are indigent, because the law basically says that, you can't be stopped if you don't have the money to litigate. So what that happens, in civil cases, what happens, the judge can waive the fees initially until everything is settled, then, there may be payments on the end, but
Okay.
expungement is different. What happens is if the judge signs it, and it's discretionary.
Right.
So the judge looks at your ability to pay, and if he sees or deems that, you can go in informal paupers, he'll sign it. And under, I think it was State versus Young, the Fifth Circuit says that everything is waived.
Okay.
Everything is waived.
So when you're saying judge, this means that if I was convicted and sentenced, went to prison, finished up my time, I'm home, how long do I have to be off of paper before I can apply for an expungement?
Okay, well, let's break it down we'll start with misdemeanors, then
Okay.
we'll get to the felonies.
All right,
On the misdemeanor, typically it's 5 years.
5 years.
Right.
Okay.
However, if the judge sentences you, and these are mainly for first offenders.
Okay.
If the judge sentences you under what's called Article 894.1, you don't have to wait the 5 years. What you can do, you can file what's called a set-aside, to set aside the prosecution and to dismiss the prosecution. If the judge signs that, then that opens the way so that you can file your expungement.
Okay. Okay.
Now, on the felony side, if it's usually 10 years you have to wait. And there are some exceptions. If you pled out under what's called Article 894E, same thing as with the misdemeanors, you can file a set-aside as soon as you completed your sentence, including parole. As soon as you complete the sentence, you can file for the set-aside, judge can sign it, and then it opens the way for an expungement. Now, also, there's another exception that we see a lot, is where people have the Louisiana Constitution on certain offenses. Once you complete your sentence, issues you a first offender pardon.
Okay.
Okay, so that first offender pardon cancels out all of the time. So you become, as soon as you get issued that letter, you're eligible.
Oh, wow. Okay. So with the expungement clinic, now most people, they're not going to know if their charge is expungable, because 9 out of 10 times, I'm sure you've gotten over 200-300 people calling to get registered for this expungement clinic. But I'm sure you've had a lot of people who had unexpungible charges, right?
Yes, yes.
But the only way they can know for sure if they're eligible for an expungement is to contact you guys, right?
Well, this is what we're doing. We're not doing a typical expungement clinic where we're actually doing the paperwork at the clinic.
Right.
Because we sat down with the team and we thought a better use of our time would be screening people.
Okay.
So we've screened over 250 people.
Wow.
And growing. And they email us, we send out a questionnaire, and we can tell if they're eligible or not.
Okay.
If they're eligible, we ask them to send the paperwork, then we sit down with the volunteer attorneys, and then we prepare the documents. So when you come to this clinic, your document's already going to be prepared.
Okay.
So, but this is what we're telling people. Let's say there's a lot of people who won't be eligible for 3, 4, or 5 years. We're saying still come to the clinic so you can understand
The
the
process.
expungement
Yeah.
process.
You know
so
the
that
it's a
you can
process.
documentation, you know
Right.
all the
So you-
steps that
It's
you
a
need.
process.
So you can prepare
Yeah.
for when you become eligible.
Well, and it sounds like it's a great thing to come to even before you're eligible because, Kevin, as you mentioned, things may change from last year to this year to next year. And if people aren't aware of those changes, that could potentially delay any sort of expungement.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And we're seeing, it's not just people from Lafayette. We've got people from New Orleans, Shreveport, from Lake Charles that are coming, from
Oh,
Baton
wow.
Rouge that are coming, that are eligible, Washington Parish that are eligible. So, we'll be happy to see them, and we're still getting more
Because there's
emails
such a
as we
need,
speak.
because
Yeah.
people haven't seen in this area. It's been a minute since I saw anyone doing an expungement clinic in this area.
Since 2022, when we brought one here.
So it's been a while, and people
We're back.
call vote all the time
Yeah.
Yes.
about either, they need help with getting an expungement, or they're having issues with an expungement because someone only completed about half of the process for them and took all their money. So,
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
yes. The thing about expungements too is making sure that whatever person, attorney, or whatever people tend to get, they really know what they're doing, because if you don't file in the right court, if you're trying to get something expunged that's unexpungible, you're wasting your money. Because they're not going to give it back to you.
No.
If someone goes in there and files an expungement for something that's unexpungible, you're just going to lose that money. That money's going to go to the clerk, and you're not going to get that back. So the important thing is making sure that they connect with someone like you guys, JRI, who really knows the expungement process.
And just a little secret about that, and you're right, you won't get your money back. But if there's some mistakes on there, basically, because it stays open, not forever, but you can you amend it and you just fix the mistakes and resend it. 'Cause
Okay.
you've already paid for it, or even if if it's waived, you just, it allows you to amend it and correct it so that it can be continued to process.
Okay.
That's
Well,
great to know.
he just schooled me on that. See, I'm no attorney, but
Right. Well, no, we
None of
there's
us are.
none of us are.
there's
Yeah.
a ways, and the clerks, they help they're pretty good about, helping out. They can't give legal advice, but with
Right.
filing and all of that. And if you get any objections, and there's mistakes, it's usually the objecting party, which is the state police, the district attorney, or the arresting agency, or the sheriff. They'll tell you what the problem is. And if those are more clerical, you just fix it. and
Okay.
refile it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes people do make mistakes thinking that, their time limitation are up. Because, for instance, let's say if you catch one charge and you have a 10-year period, then you catch another charge, it resets that other 10-year period.
The first one.
Yes.
Wow.
So
Oh, I
you
didn't
have
know
to
that.
be clean, yes.
I thought they could be individually
Yeah,
done.
individual
No.
expungement.
It
Oh,
res-
see?
it
Goes to
resets.
show how much I know.
It resets.
Oh,
yeah.
my
it-
goodness.
It compounds.
Yes,
on
it
top of
resets.
Wow. That is
Huh.
crazy.
Right.
That's some good.
So, but
very important to know.
Good to know.
what's good about it though? Let's say because we've worked with people that had charges in the 90s who had those, right? But they were 14 or 15 years clean from all of the other issues that they had. And we were able to help them file, and they were able to get the expungement. So each case is different.
Each case
It's a
different.
case-by-case
Each
different
case is
basis,
different.
right? And the clerks, you have to know where you're filing, because each of the clerks kind of have like their own policies.
Okay.
For instance, if you go to the Lafayette Parish Clerk of Court, they're gonna ask you to separate, and you're paying, they're gonna ask you to separate the money orders, okay? To break
okay.
it down. If you go to the Lafayette Municipal or City Court, they're gonna be like, no, lump it. So just basically follow the instructions. After the expungement motions are prepped for you, or we put them together, we have what's called next steps that takes you for each of the steps of what you need to do. Like, for instance, usually after the 60-day period, and nobody's objected, the judge should be able, once it's sent to the party, the judge should sign it after the 60-day period, because there's no objections. In Lafayette, the clerk wants you to pen a letter to them and say, hey, look, the 60-day is up. If you're in
Okay.
New Orleans or Baton Rouge, the clerk will take it upon themselves and be 60 days up, I'm going to sign it to a judge. So
Okay.
it just depends on what parish they have,
Wow.
their little internal policies. Yeah.
This is a great insight into all the differences across Louisiana that can hang people up and delay.
Right.
Yeah, because what
Different
they do in
things.
one parish, if somebody is talking
Yeah.
to somebody from Lafayette and they're talking to somebody in New Orleans,
Right.
the way they handle things are completely
different.
different.
It's different.
So it's best to really go to the professionals who work in that particular court system or have worked with that particular
Yeah.
court system, that is aware of what that process is for that court.
Right. And another example of differences, if your 10-year period is over with and you filing the motion, you have to get a certification from the district attorney to say that you don't have any pending charges, and you've been 10 years clean. So, right.
That's a tedious process.
Right.
It's
So-
tedious. And
so-
I may have missed this, Kevin.
Yes.
When you are going to the court and the clerk of courts, are you going, because you mentioned New Orleans, Baton Rouge, all over. Are you going to the court where you live or where your charges
Where
are?
your charges are.
So somebody could potentially have to go across state,
Yes.
like all
Or
the
from
way.
out of state.
That's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's happened. And we have a
Some
lot
people-
of, we have a lot of out-of-state clients too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that have moved away from Louisiana, but have
Yeah.
Charges.
had convictions here in Louisiana.
And
They
from
have to
Missouri,
come
Las
back.
Vegas, we get calls all the time.
Oh wow.
Texas, yeah.
So out of curiosity, you said the last clinic you had, we have about 5 minutes left. Last clinic you had was 2022.
It was another organization we were
Yeah.
working with that we brought the clinic here.
So what would it take, because this show is a chance for us to reach out to the community, to build community, and we never know what resources are out there for us. What would it take to do a clinic like this more often?
Well, we're trying to shoot for, every quarter and eventually get it done every month. If we can get more partners involved, more resources involved, more attorney volunteers involved, our goal is to hold this once a month here in Lafayette, and then in the surrounding parishes where it's needed, because we get call from St. Mary Parish,
Yeah.
St. Landry Parish. Alexandria has asked us to bring an expungement clinic where they are. But if we can partner up and the resources are there, volunteer attorneys, we can get the work done.
So y'all heard that, right? Different organizations throughout Lafayette area, surrounding area, attorneys.
You know an attorney.
Volunteer, please help. Volunteer. If you don't know the expungement process, I'm sure you can learn. You have your law degrees. You can learn how to do the expungement process to help some folks that are in need, because this is going to open the doors for a lot of people who are having a really hard time getting employment, especially for probably first offenses.
Right.
like I said, I get the calls all the time. People are like, I can't get a job, or I got the job and then they ran the background check and there it
And
was.
10 years is 5 or 10 years is a long time.
Long
It is.
time.
To wait.
It is. It is.
And I would like.
Especially when you're trying to eat now.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to thank, because all of this work is volunteer at this point. Our outreach director, who's out in New Orleans, Angela Gordon, she's a godsend. She's helped put all of this together, and she's my right hand. We have attorney Joylyn Hollins from New Orleans, who's coming down. She's an expert in expungements.
Awesome.
And we appreciate, the work that and the advice that she gives us.
And y'all, they're not getting paid for this.
No.
When they say volunteer, they absolutely mean volunteer. No one is getting paid, to help folks with these expungements. And so, again, I am imploring attorneys in this area to help JRI to be able to do this more often because it's so needed. Louisiana
Right.
has the highest incarceration rate in the country, in the world. So a lot of people are affected.
And I would like to mention one thing that we talked about. We are interested in partnering with employers who have employees that need expungements.
Oh,
So, we
That's
would be
awesome.
happy to help out, partner up with them, create a partnership where they need expungements for their employees.
so remind everyone, when is this expungement clinic? Where, what time, and who do they need to contact for this clinic?
The expungement clinics the date is August 16th, which is next month, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it's at the Domain Recreational Center in Lafayette, and it's on Mud Avenue. You can contact myself. I'm the local contact here. The phone number you can call is area code 336-0316, or you can email me email us at jrilouisiana@gmail.com. One more time, jrilouisiana@gmail.com.
Awesome,
Fantastic.
awesome. And that's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yes.
August 16th. Y'all, but make sure that you call and talk to Kevin and his folks to get, make sure that you're expungible and all that good stuff so you can really get the proper help that you need for this clinic. Well, Kevin, thank you so much.
Sure. And still come if you're not eligible to
Get that information.
see
It's gonna be a
Sway.
lot of information
See Sway speak.
at the
And see
clinic
Sway.
in case you missed it. So we look forward to seeing you guys August 16th. Thanks, Kevin.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
All right.
We'll be right back in just a moment.
So this concludes our show for today, y'all. But we want to thank all of you at home for joining us. And that was good.
That was really good. It was awesome. It's awesome to always hear about how people are giving back to the community.
Yes.
Especially highlighting all the ways that there are folks with justice impacted work
Yes.
that we often don't hear about.
That's
People
true.
think you're isolated in this community, but there are a lot of people
Yeah,
that are
there
here
are.
helping to change.
And look, if y'all want to join us for our monthly meeting, we meet every third Thursday of the month at Trendy Spaces located at 102 Carmel Drive right here in Lafayette, Louisiana. Y'all come see us 6 to 8 p.m. every third Thursday of the month. Don't forget to come and join us. You don't have to be just as impacted to become a member, or just come and drop by and have a few conversations with us. We would love to meet you. So as always, bro,
No surrender.
no
No
retreat.
retreat.